Alvin Bragg's mission continues. Indictments are not that hard to achieve in reality. You only need about half, or half plus one. But this one, of course, would be unprecedented, the first for a former president of the United States. Critics have slammed the Manhattan D.A. for this ongoing witch hunt, claiming he's trying to make a name for himself. But some have glowing reviews of what Alvin Bragg is doing, like Democrat New York Congressman Adriano Espaillat, who held a press conference yesterday to speak out in support of D.A. Bragg. Here was some of that.
We feel that that process should be respected and let the chips fall where they may. But we're here to support Alvin Bragg and his family. Thank you so much, everybody.
Doubt they talk too much about the crime rate in this city right now, but let's debate whether this quest for an indictment is credible or not. Democrat New York City Councilman Erik Bottcher joins me now right here on the set, along with former prosecutor, constitutional law attorney, and Newsmax contributor Ameer Benno. Gentlemen, good to see both of you. Excited to have a debate here. Erik, I want to start with you. We have a prosecutor and an attorney general in this state who have promised voters that they would harass Donald Trump. And in one case, that's basically how they got elected. How is it that how do you support this?
To me, it's very simple. I believe in the rule of law. I would hope that all your viewers would agree as well. In our country, if you commit a crime and there is evidence that you committed that crime, a prosecutor's job is to take that evidence to a jury. And if a grand jury believes that it warrants charges, it's the prosecutor's responsibility to wage that prosecution.
Right. Ameer, step in and give us your thoughts.
Sorry, Erik, you've been drinking the Kool-Aid a little much here. This above the law argument is just a sleight of hand. The fact is, if you really believe that there's equality in the law, then you don't selectively target certain individuals just because they're your political opponent. What has changed? Department of Justice looked at this case. FEC looked at this case. Cyrus Vance, the prior DA, looked at this case. Alvin Bragg looked at this case. All of them said no. Now, Donald Trump announces that he's running for president, and suddenly we're reviving a case. That is called selective prosecution. That is using the resources of the state against your political opposition, and that is antithetical to the American way in our rule of justice.
Erik, your response.
You're right about one thing. The DA was under pressure a year ago to proceed with this case, but he did the responsible thing and said, hold on, we're going to pump the brakes, take a look at this case, and truly make sure that the evidence warrants a prosecution. They spent the last year assembling evidence, building a case, and they believe that it warrants a prosecution. Now it's up to a jury to decide. That's the way that our system works, and that's the way it should always work.
I want to play here real quick, gentlemen. Alvin Bragg on a local radio show back when he was running for office. We've heard a lot from Tish James. We have a whole montage of those comments. Here was Alvin Bragg.
A lot of people are wondering, whoever has this job, are they going to convict Donald Trump?
Look, that is the number one issue. I'm ready to go wherever the facts take me and to inherit that case. And I think, it'd be hard to argue with the fact that that'd be the most important, most high profile case. And I've seen him up front and seen the lawlessness that he can do.
So I try to figure out how anybody could not see this as just blatantly political. I mean, I guess I would ask, if this was aimed at somebody that you politically supported, I'm sure you're not a Trump voter, if this was aimed at somebody you supported, would you be able to back an investigation like this? I can't imagine you would.
I just heard the district attorney say that he's going to follow the facts. He didn't say that he was going to charge Donald Trump with a crime. He said this was a very high-profile case and that he was going to follow the facts. And that's what he's done over the past year and 3 months.
What facts, though, do they have? I mean, it hinges, and Ameer, you can jump in here with me. This all hinges on the idea that Donald Trump made a in-kind campaign contribution that was somehow illegal. I don't know, Ameer, are there any facts that we've seen so far that can prove that this money, let's say it was paid, was not made to protect his family, to protect his wife from finding out, for any myriad of other reasons other than as a campaign contribution?
No, and you're right. And I want to point out one thing. First of all, that video neglected to mention the fact that Alvin Bragg ran on the fact that as an assistant attorney general, he sued Donald Trump and his family and his organization over 100 times. That was one of the things that he bragged about so much that one of his primary opponents, a Democrat, called him out for it. And by the way, Eric, you don't put a case into the grand jury and just let them decide. You decide whether to present that case as a district attorney to the grand jury. Here we've got a statute of limitations issue. Well beyond the statute of limitations, you've got to be able to prove that there was an entry in classified this as legal fees, this payment, which is not in and of itself illegal, as opposed to payment to Stormy Daniels, and to cover up another crime. What was that other crime? And they're saying possibly, well, he was running for president, but you can't have a local DA prosecuting a federal offense. And then you've got the issue of Michael Cohen, who's going to be the linchpin of the entire case. And then you've got Donald Trump, who's going to be able to say, look, I can rely on the advice of counsel, because in any criminal case, you're going to have to prove that he had the intent to defraud, the intent to conceal, not the intent to keep his marriage intact. And there's no way on all of those levels that the district attorney can go in there thinking that he can secure a prosecution beyond a reasonable doubt, a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. And when you can't do that, you don't bring the case.
I want to give Eric the final thought here before we wrap it up. Go ahead.
Ameer mentioned that when Alvin Bragg was an assistant attorney general, he sued Donald Trump. I want your viewers to also know that when he was an assistant attorney general, he helped lead the prosecution against the Democratic majority leader of the New York State Senate and other Democratic lawmakers. So Alvin Bragg is a career prosecutor who is following the facts, and now it's up to a jury to decide. That's what our country is based on. You don't decline to prosecute because of fear of retaliation by someone's supporters, because of their political position. That's what our country has been based on for over 200 years, and we have to keep it that way. We have to respect the Constitution and the process.
Gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up there. We appreciate you both coming in. Good to see you guys.